So a young woman was working at the Denny's restaurant, and she watched a man and two young boys get out of their car. It was a North Florida winter day, probably a high in the 40s or the low 50s. Brr, thought the woman. The man made the boys put on shoes, but the three of them were only wearing shorts and t-shirts. The young woman watched them as they had their breakfast and then left, and the whole time she was torn between calling the child welfare office and offering to give them money for clothing. She finally summoned enough nerve to go out to the car and approach the father. You might imagine her chagrin when the father informed her that they were on vacation from Alaska, and thank you very much, but his kids often play in the water back home when the temperatures are in the 40s and the 50s. It's all relative. It's all relative. And so the point, I think, is that we don't necessarily make assumptions about other people's circumstances. The only way that we can engage with other people in their circumstances is through communicating with one another, through being there with one another. And in order to be together, we come together from week to week, and we are here. So that as we go back out into the world, we can be there more fully. As we come together, we build our community, and we share our gifts, our riches with this community, and we share beyond the walls of our congregation. This month we're sharing our riches with the Unitarian Universalist Association / Unitarian Universalist Service Committee effort to raise funds for the recent tsunami that took place in the Philippines. And so I'll invite you to give as generously as you can during our Sunday morning offering.